Okay guys, I'm gonna do a video, and this is gonna be the only one on YouTube as far as I know. Let's see if I can get to where y'all can see it a little bit better. I guess y'all can see it. The sun's so bright and this phone's hard to see on. But anyway, what this is a O'Gorman Mafia Set. Now, you aren't going to be able to use this set everywhere, but if, say, you're in one of the snare states that you have to use like cable restraints or pretty much fake snares, even in like my state here in Virginia, we can use lethal snares, but to me, our laws are so weird about how far the loop has to be off the ground, and it's just a pile of bull crap, really. The coyotes almost have to be midgets for you to be able to use it and actually catch any kind of numbers. But anyway, this set will outproduce snares, footholds, whatever. This is probably one of the most deadly sets you can make as long as you're on location. Now, by location, you're going to use this set and say if you have a 2-track on a farm, this is going to be your, let's say where my hand's at, this is just one side of a 2-track where these traps are at right now. There's coyote tracks on it, you know they're there, you know they're using it. No brainer. What you're gonna do is, and the whole premise of this set and what makes it so much of a deadly set is, he's got to bring 4 feet. Now I'm gonna show you something else. This is kind of these traps, the levers are only maybe about that far apart, and you want to set them like that. What you're gonna do is you're gonna put, say, like a piece of coyote turd, which is probably better than a stick to me, because it's something natural, it's something he's used to seeing. You're gonna put your coyote turd in between the 2 traps. Now when he's coming down through here, he's gonna see that stick, and if this first trap doesn't get any one of his 4 feet, he's got to jump that turd, and his 4 feet are going to have to go across that next trap. And I guarantee you, without a shadow of a doubt, if you set these traps, the next morning, if a coyote comes through there across these traps, he's going to be standing there when you go check. This is, like I said, the deadliest set you can make as far as visit to catch. Now, one of the critical parts of this is you have to, whenever people say blend, think of that times 100 on this set. You really, and I mean really, have to blend these traps in for this to produce for you. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, like I said, I mean, that's, let's see, something I know the length of. Alright, let's see. Okay, the barrel on my 10mm is a little over 4.5 inches, and that's about how far you want the frames of your traps apart. About 4.5, 5 inches. Okay. Now, what you're gonna do, damn wind, just blow my cigarette out. What you're gonna do, go ahead. I think I've already told y'all I use peat moss. What you're gonna do is go ahead and put your peat moss in. Make Make sure it's under the pan or whatever you're using. Jaws. Okay, I always want to see where my pans are at on this one. Now, what you're gonna do, take your dirt. Go down to find my pan. What I'm gonna do, pack. I'm sure there's still people cringing, but you need to go back and watch my video about pan tension. You do not have them adjusted right if you're afraid to do what I'm doing right now. Okay, let me grab some more dirt here real quick. This is hard to do one-handed, guys, but now this is kind of one of those sets you don't really hear much about anymore. For those of you, well, some of the younger guys may not know, Craig O'Gorman is, to me, and a lot of other people's opinion, one of the best coyote trappers of our generation. And this is one of the sets that he has kind of perfected, I guess you would say. Anyway, you're gonna cover them. Man, this is hard doing this one-handed. After your first pack, when you find your pan the first time, you're gonna do this again. This is the most critical part of this set, guys. If you want to catch with this, you have to blend these traps in. If you don't, you're kind of wasting your time. And it takes a while to get these in if you're gonna bet them right. And you want these things to just about be perfect. Well, nobody's perfect, but as perfect as you can get them. In between the traps, a lot of people don't think of that. Make sure you pat that down really good. You want the approach nice and firm. This wind's getting on my nerves. God, I ain't got no light equipment, it'd be blown away. Anyway. Now, what I do is, I'm gonna get, well, let me dump some of these dirt clods. What I do is I get just a little bit of kind of not wet, but kind of moist dirt. And what you're gonna do Just want to cover your pan. Not just covered. You want about a half an inch on there, maybe. Okay, now make sure your sticks. Everybody talks about a low spot over the trap. I really do not like to do that. For one, if you get any kind of rain, your trap is, well, let me put it to you this way. You know how people like to go to the spa and have their feet soaked and pampered and all that stuff? They stick them down in a little jacuzzi looking pan thing. Well, if you have a low spot over your trap and you get any kind of rain, that's what you're going to have. It's going to turn into basically a little miniature swimming pool, and coyotes are not going to want to soak their feet in there. A lot of people don't disagree with that, but just my opinion. Okay, now, you see all the ground litter around, all these leaves and all this stuff. This is really well blended in. You cannot tell there's two traps there. It's rough looking. Looks just like it did before I broke the ground up to bed my traps. Now what I'm gonna do is really simple. I'm just gonna take these dry leaf litter. And I'm gonna crunch it up in my hand to break up any kind of little deals here. Basically to where there's no way they're gonna think that a trap is there. Hang on, let me reach over here. This really sucks, guys, doing this one-handed, but trying to do the best I can for you guys. Okay. You don't have to do the whole thing, but you just want to kind of break up the outline of where your equipment is. What you could do if you wanted, it's not really necessary, but you could just take some of these real tiny little, you don't want them right over your trap though. Okay, as you can see, that just looks like the rest of the ground. You know, you got some little duff and real tiny little twigs over here. Whenever you're blending, guys, make sure you do not get anything where the scissors of your jaws are, because it can put you out of business. Like I said, you don't have to be perfect, but you want them blended. Alright. Oh well, you guys can see that, but that's literally perfect. It looks just like it did before I tore the ground up to get my traps in. But if you guys have any questions on this set, just let me know in the comments or whatever, and I'll try to do a follow-up video if I can. This is a deadly set. It will outproduce any style of trapping or snaring. Hope you like it, guys.